vast Xianlan continent, a realm of immortal cultivation. Cultivators reigned supreme while mortals toiled, dreaming of escaping their mundane lives to chase immortality. Our story begins with a young boy. His mother had sent him on this quest, promising cultivation and even a beautiful wife if he succeeded. Yet, sect after sect had turned him away. Now he sought the last hope, the divine, immortal sect. But disappointment struck hard. All he found was a dilapidated hut. A scam, he thought, his long journey wasted. Just as he turned to leave, a hand clamped onto his foot.
Don't leave.
The startled boy looked down.
You are?
I am the esteemed sect master of the divine immortal sect, Wang Feng.
But Wang Feng was no esteemed cultivator. 3 days ago, he was a comic artist on Earth who had transmigrated after dying from overwork. His initial excitement about a cultivation world, imagining spiritual energy, legendary techniques, and priceless treasures, was quickly shattered. First, a flying old man had unceremoniously kicked him. Then, a system message appeared.
Congratulations, host has arrived in Xianlan continent. Host has received a stronger sect system.
More excitement, swiftly crushed again.
This is simply a recruitment system. Host needs to establish the strongest sect and spread its glory. Recruit the first disciple within 3 days, or face extermination.
Now, facing his last moments, he clung to this boy, his only hope.
I sensed it the moment you arrived. Your bones are extraordinary. You're a 1 in a million talent. After careful consideration, my esteemed self is willing to take you in as a disciple.
Li Qing scoffed, unimpressed by the shabby hut and the desperate man.
Who'd believe this dump is a sect? You're just an actor and not a very good one.
Young man, you cannot judge a sect by its cover. Think about it. All those large, beautiful sects thought you were stupid and pushed you away. But I can tell, you are actually really talented.
A flicker of hope appeared in Li Qing's eyes.
Can I really cultivate? Become an immortal?
Do you know why I named my sect the Divine Immortal Sect? Just as the name says, enter my sect and I will ensure you become immortal.
Li Qing's mind instantly filled with visions of gold, adventure, and saving a beautiful waifu. He almost handed over the small pouch at his waist, likely his entire savings or an offering. But doubt lingered.
But what if I can't become immortal?
No worries. If your cultivation fails, I'll personally recommend you to another great sect. I'll even introduce you to a nice girl.
Li Qing, however, felt his own importance swell. This sect master was trying so hard. He must truly be a genius.
But I'll say it first. I can't handle tough training. You have to make sure I get full meals every day, my clothes are washed, and all my needs are met.
Of course, these are things I should do.
Only the threat of extermination kept Wang Feng from acting on his annoyance. Finally, Li Qing handed over the pouch. The moment Wang Feng grasped it, the system chimed.
Congratulations to the host for getting his first disciple. Activating strongest sect system. Open your attributes to check rewards.
Before Wang Feng could even peek at his rewards, Li Qing latched onto his back, suddenly full of affection.
Master, you're the best. You accepted me. You're spoiling me. Not even my own brother treats me this well. Brother Wang, I'm hungry. Go prepare some food.
Wang Feng, itching to see his rewards and ditch the demanding kid for a moment, thought this was a perfect excuse. He quickly opened his attribute panel. The basic stats were utterly disappointing, but at the bottom, a summon chance and a roll chance, both single use.
Summon chance. Host can summon powerful individuals from across myriad worlds. Summoned subjects will be loyal to the host sect and can impart lessons to disciples.
Wang Feng thought back on his miserable 3 days, struggling to light a fire, the system providing only this basic hut, his desperate wish to just go home. This was his chance.
Summon it! Summon it now! Summon someone powerful and invincible.
Instantly, the sky ripped open. A figure descended like a meteor, crashing nearby with incredible force, shaking the very mountain. Miraculously, the flimsy hut remained standing. The blast jolted Li Qing awake. Terrified, he scrambled into the hut, only to find Wang Feng sitting calmly in a chair, sipping tea he'd somehow acquired.
Brother Wang Feng, no! Daddy, what's going on?
What are you talking about? Can't you let me take a break and have some tea?
There is no time for tea right now. It's the end of the world outside.
They both went outside. Standing amidst the dust and lingering power was a tall, imposing figure emanating a godlike aura. This was the summoned being, Ye Gucheng. Wang Feng beamed, while Li Qing trembled in fear. As Ye Gucheng walked towards them, radiating pressure, Wang Feng casually placed a hand on Li Qing's shoulder.
Relax. He's just one of my esteemed self's bodyguards.
Li Qing's fear instantly morphed into shock and awe. A bodyguard like this?
Master, what stage is he?
Wang Feng mentally consulted the system. Ye Gucheng, a legendary swordsman from a novel Wang Feng knew. But what was his power level here?
Ye Gucheng. Cultivation stage, princely stage, pinnacle.
Princely stage. Pinnacle. Is that good?
Only? Are you being serious right now? Princely Stage can be considered among the most powerful cultivators in the entire glorious Sun Empire. Those who can enter the princely realm are first class, one of the strongest.
Wang Feng breathed an internal sigh of relief. So, princely stage is impressive here. Strong people are strong no matter where you put them. Just then, Ye Gucheng arrived before Wang Feng and bowed respectfully.
Ye Gucheng greets the sect master.
Ah, no need for such etiquette. Be cool, be cool.
Li Qing's world completely tilted. He had seen arrogance, stupidity, and desperation in his short life, but never had he witnessed a supreme expert, a princely stage powerhouse, bowing to someone like Wang Feng, the master of a rundown hut. The intrigue turned into sheer, unadulterated awe. Wang Feng was clearly profound beyond measure.
Li Qing, greet Elder Ye.
Galvanized, Li Qing immediately prostrated himself fully on the ground, bowing deeply to Ye Gucheng. Wang Feng chuckled inwardly at the boy's rapid change in attitude. His gaze then returned to his system panel.
System, what about that draw chance?
Draw chance. Host can roll for a prize. Prizes can include constitutions, bloodlines, cultivation techniques, items, and so on. Once received, prizes can be bestowed upon disciples or used by the host.
Wang Feng's eyes lit up. Used by the host, finally, a chance for him to cultivate, to gain real power in this world. Without hesitation, he used it instantly. The prize, a portion of Ye Gucheng's cultivation power. The system prompted him to choose whether to absorb it himself or bestow it upon Li Qing. As a mortal sect master, the choice was obvious. Personal power came first. He consulted the system, learning that absorbing this power would elevate him directly to the early stage of the entry phase realm. Unsure exactly what that tier represented, he casually asked Li Qing about the cultivation hierarchy. Li Qing eagerly recited the 10 major realms, confirming entry phase as the 5th level, a respectable middle ground, yet still just the beginning. Li Qing couldn't help but wonder internally why the esteemed sect master would ask such a basic question. Decisively, Wang Feng absorbed the reward. A potent surge of spiritual energy enveloped him, visibly transforming his physique. Vitality radiated from him. His spiritual power became palpable, and his simple clothes ripped under the sudden strain, revealing a surprisingly robust form beneath. Li Qing watched in open-mouthed astonishment, completely awed by his master's display of hidden power. Noticing Li Qing's stare, Wang Feng quickly formulated an explanation. He claimed he had merely manifested the power of the entry phase realm as a demonstration, encouraging Li Qing by promising him similar advancement within a year if he trained diligently. This seemingly impossible promise utterly stunned Li Qing, further cementing his belief in the sect's profound nature. Overcome with emotion, he prostrated himself, weeping tears of gratitude for being accepted and vowing unwavering dedication. Closing his eyes, he experienced dramatically heightened senses, capable of hearing minute details across the valley with chilling clarity. His concentration was broken by a commotion above. A girl descended rapidly from the sky, using a poor bird as an impromptu stepping stone, her expression stormy. Wang Feng identified her as a likely practitioner with unusual cultivation, believing her perhaps a visitor drawn by the earlier disturbance. He instructed Ye Gucheng to offer a cautious greeting. Ye Gucheng planted his sword firmly and formally inquired about the visitor's origins. His words seemed to trigger a violent reaction. The ground trembled, and a whirlwind erupted seemingly from nowhere, scattering Wang Feng's precious recruitment flyers into the chaotic air. Amidst the swirling vortex, the girl tumbled out. A flyer drifted directly into her line of sight, obstructing her view. She drew her sword, intending to slash it away. However, Ye Gucheng reacted instantly to protect the sect's property.
Don't destroy the items of our divine immortal sect.
He unleashed a controlled wave of sword chi aimed at deflecting her strike. The energies unfortunately collided in an unexpected way, accidentally plastering the flyer firmly onto the girl's face. Blinded and panicked by the sudden adhesion, she lost her balance completely and crashed heavily onto the ground right before Wang Feng. Observing the clumsy, unintended result of Ye Gucheng's intervention, Wang Feng wryly instructed Li Qing to check on the newcomer. As the dust settled, the girl lay sprawled and slightly injured. Still clutching the paper stuck to her face, Li Qing approached timidly. When the girl finally managed to pull the paper away, revealing her dirt-streaked, furious face, Li Qing recoiled in fear. She slammed her fist onto the ground, radiating palpable anger.
Who littered?
Li Qing promptly fled in terror. Wang Feng chuckled, calmly stepping forward to explain that the offending litter was actually a recruitment flyer for his divine immortal sect. The girl examined the crumpled paper, her anger slowly shifting to confusion as she read it.
Is this the Divine Immortal Sect?
Wang Feng confirmed his identity as the sect master advertised on the flyer. At that very moment, the system notified him. He had found a potential genius. The mission updated. Recruiting her would be the first step towards the larger goal of 10 disciples, which promised a grand reward of 10 summoning chances and 10 more prize draws. Excited by the potential rewards, Wang Feng decided to immediately try his standard recruitment pitch again, spreading his arms wide and praising the girl's extraordinary bones and genius potential. Hearing the now familiar line, Li Qing cautiously emerged from hiding and began to object, questioning if the sect master perhaps said this to everyone. Wang Feng swiftly silenced his disciple with a hand over his mouth before turning back to the girl, sweating slightly despite his newfound cultivation. He continued his praise, mentally acknowledging that simple flattery likely wouldn't work on someone with her evident combat experience and volatile temper. The girl paused, considering his words, glancing between Wang Feng and the flyer in her hand. Then, surprising everyone, her expression softened slightly. She looked directly at Wang Feng with a searching gaze.
So, do you think I can join?
Wang Feng and Li Qing were secretly high-fiving in their heads. What luck. A superpowered junior sister had practically fallen into their laps. Wang Feng was already dreaming of expanding his sect. Beside him, Li Qing could barely contain his enthusiasm. But before the excitement could fully bloom, the system's voice rang out, pouring cold water on his joy.
Detected host is experiencing excessive elation. Friendly reminder, premature celebration is discouraged. Without payment of the entrance fee, the subject cannot be officially recognized as a disciple.
Wang Feng's cheerful bubble burst instantly. Are you kidding me? This damn system and its absurd protocols. Entrance fee. Right now. Fighting back a grimace, he turned toward the eager girl with his best, wise sect master expression.
According to the sacred customs of our esteemed divine immortal sect, initiation requires a willing offering. Specifically, you must contribute all current funds in your possession as the entrance fee.
The girl, Ling Feiwu, blinked in surprise. Then, in a flash, she lunged forward, clasped Wang Feng's hand, and dramatically pressed it to her chest, her face turning adorably pitiful.
Oh, sect master, I ran here in such haste I didn't bring a single coin. Can I maybe pay it later?
Wang Feng broke into a nervous sweat. He stammered that rules were rules, but inwardly he was yelling,
If it were up to me, I'd waive it for you.
But the system was merciless. It wanted its fee one way or another. Meanwhile, Li Qing watched with awe.
Even in the face of such beauty, the sect master was sticking to his principles. Joining this sect was hands down the smartest move I've ever made.
Just as Wang Feng was wondering how to resolve this no-money situation, a group of threatening figures emerged at the forest's edge. Their leader, a cocky young man with striking white hair and a sneer that screamed arrogance, stepped forward.
Ling Feiwu, did you really think you could escape the Marquise's reach?
He scans Wang Feng and the others with disdain. Even your father couldn't shield you. What hope do you have with these backwater bumpkins? Ling Feiwu's demeanor changed in an instant. From desperate to defiant, she whipped around, unsheathing her sword and pointing it at Lin Yunyi.
Lin Yunyi, I now belong to the divine immortal sect. In front of my sect master, you wouldn't dare act recklessly.
Lin Yunyi laughed derisively. Wang Feng groaned internally. What he thought was a divine gift had turned into a spicy mess. Lin Yunyi leapt lightly from a tree branch, landing with flair.
You dare steal what belongs to the Marquis? No matter. The Marquis doesn't mind educating a few fools.
He snaps his fingers.
These subordinates of mine have all achieved the profound general level.
Wang Feng mentally crunched the numbers. Profound general, just one tier beneath his entry phase. Still, there were 5 of them, not to mention Lin Yunyi himself, whose cultivation level was unknown. This was no longer a casual recruitment. It was a potential disaster. Ling Feiwu's grip on her sword trembled slightly. Li Qing, blissfully unaware of the danger, puffed up and stepped beside her, brimming with bravado.
Ha ha ha. Don't worry, junior sister. Profound general, please. Our sect master can flick them away like flies.
Lin Yunyi's henchman glared murderously. Wang Feng felt sweat trickle down his back.
Li Qing, you beautiful fool. Stop boasting. If this turns into a fight, I'm toast.
Trying to maintain his composure, Wang Feng forced a tranquil smile. His calm seemed to reassure Ling Feiwu, who dropped to one knee with reverence.
Thank you, sect master, for your protection.
Wang Feng raised a hand like a benevolent sage, his face exuding calmness he absolutely didn't feel.
With me here, no harm shall come to you. Somebody help me. These two are about to get me killed.
Lin Yunyi's irritation boiled over.
What is this farce? Pretending before me?
He lands with a thud, flanked by his men.
You want to know the meaning of death? I'll personally demonstrate.
Without hesitation, his men drew their weapons and lunged forward in sync, their bloodlust unmistakable. Wang Feng's pupils dilated, so fast. But then, something odd happened as they neared him. Space around Wang Feng shimmered faintly. Their attacks began to falter, blades bending strangely mid-strike. One attacker's sword warped right before impact. Wang Feng, oddly calm in the moment, caught his own reflection in the bent steel.
Guess that whole one realm crushes all thing might be real after all.
Still, letting them flail around was undignified. He made a decision.
Ye Gucheng.
As if summoned from the void, Ye Gucheng appeared at Wang Feng's side, sword drawn, gaze ice cold. Without a word, he moved. Smooth, precise, deadly. In moments, all 5 profound general goons were sprawled out, moaning on the ground. Now he turned toward Lin Yunyi. The white-haired noble froze, terror-stricken. Wang Feng stepped forward, cutting off his retreat with a smirk.
Trying to teach me the meaning of death? Looks like your lesson's missing the final stroke. Your own.
Li Qing, grinning, leaned toward Ling Feiwu.
See? Sect master didn't even need to act. Elder Ye alone was enough to mop the floor with them. Profound generals? Pfft, small fry.
Lin Yunyi's fear was absolute. He crushed 5 generals in seconds? That aura, surely not entry phase. Could it be the princely realm? Even his father hadn't broken into that stage. Panicking, Lin Yunyi dropped to his knees, groveling.
Senior, this lowly one was blind and failed to recognize your greatness. Please spare me. I'll leave immediately. My father, the Marquis of Changlin, will offer grand gifts in apology.
At the mention of Changlin, Ling Feiyu's expression darkened, rage flaring in her eyes. But Wang Feng didn't miss a beat. He slung an arm around Ye Gucheng's shoulder like an old drinking buddy, smiling coldly.
Marquis of Changlin, Marquis of Freed Dumplings, doesn't matter to me. Anyone stirring up trouble here won't leave in one piece.
Ling Feiyu blinked, stunned by his boldness. Li Qing nodded approvingly.
Told you. Our sect master doesn't care about titles. That Changlin guy, probably nothing to him.
Ling Feiyu lowered her head, thoughts returning to the nightmare she'd escaped. The Marquis of Changlin, Lin Tianxiong, was a terrifying figure at the peak of the princely realm. He had massacred her family, and all she could do was flee. And yet, this mysterious sect master, he didn't even flinch. Maybe he really could protect her. Her resolve hardened. She dropped to her knees once again, this time with quiet determination. Wang Feng raised an eyebrow.
What's this now? Another formal gesture?
Sect Master. At first, joining the Divine Immortal Sect was a gamble, a last hope while fleeing my past.
She opened her eyes, voice trembling with rage and grief.
But now, after what I've seen, I believe you can bring justice to the Ling family.
What exactly did this Lin Yunyi do to you?
Her fists clenched, body shaking.
While I was out on a cultivation trip, I crossed paths with Lin Yunyi. He tried to assault me. I barely escaped. But later, he returned with soldiers from the Marquis's estate. They slaughtered my entire clan. My father bought me time with his life. I barely survived. And now I stand before you.
Tears welled in her eyes. Wang Feng gently placed a hand on her shoulder.
Don't worry. Whether you've paid the fee or not, you're mine to protect now.
As those words sank in, Lin Yunyi panicked. Any hope of bluffing with his father's name disappeared. He shoved his fingers into the dirt, summoned every ounce of strength, and launched himself in a desperate bid to escape.